There was a man who helped everyone he knew and gave his best to everything he did. He was a husband, a father, a friend. Everyone knew him as a loyal man. He worked countless hours as a janitor for the schools in his community. He never asked for a day off. And for little money, he never complained. He was selfless. He took care of his aunt weekly by taking her to the doctor and buying her groceries. He was a shoulder whenever people needed one to lean on. When friends could not handle the load of their burdens, he carried them. He was the bank when someone needed a loan. Once he saved up to take his wife on a trip. Just one more check, my love. Just one more check, he said. Until his son needed money for rent. When the community needed him, he was there. He gave everyone his everything, but became weak each time he ignored his own needs. Another phone call, another request, another long day at work and no rest. He gave until he had no more left. One day, he answered the phone, weak and barely able to think. On the other end, he heard, "Hey, I need," and his reply was yes. His light shone bright until his light could not shine anymore. This man now laid at the front of the church in the same community he gave so much of his life to. His family sat staring at the casket, numb to the realization he was gone. His granddaughter looked around and said,
"Mom, where is everyone? I thought you said that Grandpa was loved by many."
She glanced at the emptiness in the room, taken in the absence of all those her father said yes to. She turned to her and said,
"No. He was loved by few, but used by many."
Hey, what's up, rehabs across the world? Trent here. It's actually taking in the sunset, protecting my peace in New York City. And you know, one thing that I know for a fact that a lot of people don't have these days is patience. And I like to think that patience is a part of faith, right? Believing the odds are beatable even when the odds say it's impossible. And it reminds me of, you know, having a gardener's mindset. Now I remember going to Little Rock, Arkansas to visit my grandpa, and he taught me a valuable lesson. Bless his soul, he's no longer alive. But he taught me a valuable lesson about patience and about having faith. Because sometimes we think faith is, you know, even though we know it's seeing the unseen, but a lot of us, we think faith is actually like seeing it then believing it. But faith is believing it before you see it, right? And hoping that it comes to fruition or that harvest will take place. But I remember going to Little Rock, Arkansas when I was a little kid. And my grandfather, he had this garden. He grew up on a farm, so he was a gardener. I was far from it. But he had this garden, and every time we would go there, I would be like so intrigued of the process of planting a seed and watching that seed grow. Because I'm a firm believer in life now that every seed you plant will grow, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And so we'll go there and we'll plant these seeds, different seeds, just different crops we wanted to plant. And I remember one specific time when I was down there and we planted seeds. I was probably like 7 years old. Literally, we planted the seeds, and 2 hours later, I went to my grandfather. I was like, "Grandfather, we must have did something wrong because like we planted the seed 2 hours ago, nothing has happened." And my grandfather always said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So, you know, at 7 years old, 6 years old, I think patience is 2 hours later. So I go back to him 2 hours after that and say, "Grandpa, listen, I'm like, it's 2 hours, it's 4 hours now. We planted the seed, nothing has happened." He said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So patient to me then tomorrow. So the next day I go to my grandpa and say, "Grandpa, look, we did something wrong. Like nothing has happened. We planted this seed. I thought we did it right." He said, "Trent, just be patient and trust the process." So that whole process of me coming to him lasted till we left back to New Orleans. And I remember a few months later, he called and he asked to speak to me. He said, Trent, guess what? That seed that we planted, it's time for the harvest. That crop grew. And he said, in life, always have this mindset. Just be patient and trust the process. And so a lot of people look at my life now and they see me traveling the world, speaking all across the world, and they see Rehab Time, millions of people, and they think it was an overnight thing. It took a lot of long nights. It took me going to places where one person would show up, 10 people would show up, where nobody was watching my videos. But I knew, just like my grandfather was teaching me, if I did the right things, put in the work, if I had faith, if I believed the odds were beatable even when the odds say it's impossible, then that harvest will come. It's been a decade, it's 2019 now. And the seeds I planted back in 2009 are now showing up. My point in making this video is to ask you this question. Are you being patient? Are you trusting the process? We live in a social media era where I like to call it microwave era. You see so many people start something today and they expect the result tomorrow. They expect the result next week. They expect the result next month. They expect the result at the end of the year. And a lot of people quit because those results don't show up on their time. Anything that takes time to build is powerful. Great things take time. So remember this. As long as you're watering the seed by hard work, dedication, commitment, consistency, doing the things that you know you need to do, just know that growth is gonna happen. And my definition of faith is simply this: believing something is growing, even when you can't see growth taking place. Just like that seed that me and my grandfather planted. That gardener knows that something's going on beneath the surface, even if it doesn't show up till months later.
I go to work every single day. I don't have no days off. You talking about a text message?
Sitting at home waiting for you.
Listen, let me be real with both of y'all. I want y'all to hear me. Selfishness does not create togetherness. Self-centered hearts don't build solid relationships. A relationship means y'all come together to make each other better, not make each other worse. It's not just about you, and it's not just about you. Understand, it's about the relationship. Y'all are supposed to be teammates, not opponents. Like, y'all are supposed to be building each other up, not breaking each other down. Y'all are supposed to be working together, not working apart. It's like y'all are so addicted to proving each other wrong that y'all will never make this relationship right. I know it hurts, but it's true. Like, you gotta understand this. Y'all are so focused on what you're not getting from each other that y'all don't realize what you're not giving to each other. Sometimes a person is not who you need them to be because you're not the person that they need you to be. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and see it's on you, just being straight up. When's the last time you spoke to her strengths, not our weaknesses? When was the last time you spoke to his power, not his struggle? When's the last time y'all's words brought praise to each other instead of pain to each other? Think about that. Let your words awaken the spirit, not kill the soul. Y'all supposed to be each other's peace, not each other's problems. Negative communication will never create powerful connection. And without a powerful connection, it's impossible to build a beautiful relationship. Connection is the oxygen to your relationship. I promise you, without it, it will die. Your relationship is not suffering because of a lack of love, but because of the lack of connection. You're not happy together because you're no longer sacrificing for each other. You're not happy together because you're not supporting each other. You're not happy together because you're no longer supplying each other. Like, y'all had to understand this and get this. Y'all lost the hunger to please each other. You're not the person he fell in love with. You're not the person that she fell in love with. Nothing is the same because y'all both changed. Y'all both stopped fulfilling each other's needs.
And I'll tell you right now, ignoring your partner's needs and still expecting a beautiful relationship is like ignoring your plants need water and still expecting a beautiful garden. It's impossible. She needs you to make her feel valued. She needs you to make her feel worthy. He needs you to make him feel respected. He needs you to make him feel appreciated. Y'all need each other to make each other feel desired. Y'all gotta be obsessed. I know that's a strong word, but y'all gotta be obsessed with bringing out the best in each other. Y'all gotta be obsessed with taking away the stress from one another. Y'all gotta be obsessed with doing the work that's gonna make this relationship work. Y'all should be obsessed with supporting each other's dreams, not killing each other's dreams. Nobody should go harder for your significant other than you. Nobody should believe in your significant other more than you. You should be their support system, not their stress system. And listen, I'll tell you this, most relationships don't fail because of hard times. They fail because people stop going hard for each other during those hard times. Never stop dating, never stop appreciating, never stop respecting. You should remind him of why he fell in love with you every single day. You should remind her of why she fell in love with you. And that's how you guys stay connected together and build something that lasts forever.